Forrest Gump once said, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. I propose, however, that life is not so much like a box of Hershey's as it is like throwing a frisbee. For those of you who have been tragically deprived of the utter and utmost pleasure that is inherent in throwing a frisbee, I'll take but a moment to relate to you just what it is that makes it so great. Indeed, though it is often dismissed as merely a recreational trinket, the frisbee is a fascinating thing, perhaps the most fascinating of things. One of man's simplest inventions, the frisbee has succeeded in mimicking the aeronautical feats that for centuries were reserved for birds. Its circular shape is the apotheosis of minimalistic pulchritude, and its basic design, and it gives one pause to consider that such a basic design enables a complex process of Bernoullian airflow that enables flight. At once understated and overrated, ordinary and extraordinary, the frisbee is a token of man's subtle genius. In other words, I really like frisbees. They are fun, they are fundamentally profound, and they are exceedingly spiffy. Perhaps the best aspect of the frisbee, however, is that anybody and everybody can learn to throw one. I stand before you tonight as the biggest nerd of the class of 2004. There is no disputing this fact. My very presence behind this podium, giving this address, is evidence that I, Walker Frahm, am a geeky, pointy-headed, intellectual nerd. Indeed, the closest I've come to working out my biceps has been carrying my government, calculus, English, chemistry, European history, and psychology books to and from school. And the only real girlfriend I've had in high school has been a cute little redhead girl named Wendy. We have a pretty good relationship. I give her money, she gives me Frosties and double cheeseburgers. And yet yes, even I, the nerdiest student in school, am capable of playing frisbee. In fact, I actually pride myself that as president of the newly started Ultimate Frisbee Club here at South, I consistently stand out as one of the best players in the organization, in spite of my nerdiness. This should testify to everybody in the audience tonight that you too can learn to throw a frisbee. Similarly, everybody in the audience tonight, and I'm speaking particularly to the graduates of 2004, can be successful in life. Just as frisbee is not a sport reserved for the super athletic, success is not something reserved for the super talented or the super athletic among us. Frisbee success, believe me, is not due to superior athletic ability. No, success in frisbee boils down to three things. One, a burning desire to always try your hardest. Two, a willingness to take risks. And three, the capacity to overcome and build upon your failures. These three principles are not merely a formula for becoming a decent frisbee player. They are also guidelines for how to be successful in whatever it is we choose to do now that high school is behind us. The first key to success is desire. Since anything noteworthy is accomplished only with great effort, and effort is something that can only grow out of desire, we cannot hope to achieve anything without first developing a passionate commitment to our goals. Part of this is figuring out what it is that we can each get passionate about. My passion, of course, is frisbee. You may be passionate about swimming, computers, singing, cooking, rent fair, auto mechanics, acting, the military, journalism, etc. Or perhaps right now, your passion is sitting around and drinking chocolate milk with your buds, and you have not yet found the role that society needs you to fill. Whatever our eventual contributions to society may be, however, we must never allow our desires to be overwhelmed by complacency. If we are willing to accept the fact that we will never be more than mediocre frisbee players, then our throws will never improve. Similarly, as we leave high school to pursue our various life paths, it is our desire for excellence that will bring about our success. The second thing we must remember as we strive to live fulfilling lives is that progress never comes without risk. It is only by pushing ourselves beyond our comfort zones that we experience growth. Now, there's more than one way to throw a frisbee. There's the ever-popular backhand, which is the typical across-the-chest motion. And then there's the forehand flick. When I started playing frisbee for the school club at the beginning of the year, even though I've been playing frisbee since I was about 6 inches tall, I had only ever used my backhand. Consequently, I had a really powerful backhand, but an extremely wimpy forehand. Rather than playing it safe and sticking with my backhand, however, I pushed myself by striving to perfect my flick. While I initially made many poor throws when trying to use this different technique, and though I'm still not the best at it, the end result is that it has rounded out my game, and I have become a better overall player. We must remember, however, that the natural companion to risk is failure and disappointment, which we must learn to overcome. Now, I've had a lot of experience watching people play frisbee, and one thing I've noticed is that at times it just comes easier for some people than for others, in the same way that some people seem to have had more success in high school than others. But, and this is a big but, one thing I have never seen is somebody who has never made a bad throw. Learning to throw a frisbee is a skill that is acquired only after much repetition and after making many mistakes. Even the best frisbee players have throws that fly out of range. Even the best frisbee players have throws that land in the lake or hit their best friend's grandmother in the head. Even the best frisbee players can learn to throw a frisbee only through the tedious and often painfully systematic process of throwing until it finally goes straight. Even the best frisbee players must suck up their pride after a bad throw to pick the frisbee back up, dust it off, and try again. Throwing a frisbee is a matter of technique, and throwing it well comes only after one has tried, failed, and learned from his or her mistakes enough times to consistently execute the motions involved. Perhaps some of us tonight had difficulty in high school trying to find our niche. For those of us who did have trouble fitting in or did not quite accomplish of executing a forehand flick, for some of us the challenges of high school may have been as difficult to overcome as it would be to learn to throw behind our backs or between our legs. Whatever our individual circumstances and whatever we were each able to accomplish on our own during our high school years, that chapter of our lives is now coming to a close, and we can each be very proud to be sitting here tonight as the graduates of 2004. Just as we can never take back the throw of the frisbee after we release it from our fingers, so also will we never be able to relive our high school years. Fortunately, however, in the same way that we can always pick up the frisbee and try again, there is no end to the new and better beginnings we will have after leaving high school. We must remember that the difference between a bad throw and a good throw is merely picking it up and giving it another try. I would like to take this special opportunity to extend on behalf of the class of 2004 our gratitude for the superb members of the administration and faculty that helped each of us, individually and collectively, on our paths to becoming better players in the ultimate frisbee game of life. And I'd like to thank my friends, my family, and my Heavenly Father for all the blessings I've been so very fortunate to receive. For the class of 2004, thank you for your patience. Congratulations on your achievements. Be happy, be successful, play Frisbee. Thank you.